really shape and mold what you spend your time on this year in your business. So in my thing it says, raise your hand if you've ever heard of the Cape Corbet Smackdown. But what I know now is everybody here has, because apparently I'm famous for it. It's a thing. I mean, I'm not really sure how I feel about that, but that's okay. What it really means, if you don't really know what that means, is that from time to time, I can get a little fired up and talk about things that I'm really passionate about. And I kind of can come up here and drop bombs at you of all kinds of things you really did need to hear, in my opinion. That's going to happen tonight, okay? But first, I want to share with you what I'm most passionate about in life. So, surprise, it's not actually jewelry parties.
Really?
Right, exactly. What I am really most passionate about is that 19 years ago, when I was in college, I was introduced to the love of Christ. I was lost and lonely. I didn't know who I was. Confident? Are you kidding me? Heck no. I was ridden by anxiety and confusion. That year, I met some fine ladies in the dorms, and they just had something different going on. They had this peace about them. They had real relationships with each other. I had never experienced that. And the weirdest thing is that they would talk about Jesus. I'm like, who are you people? This is weird. But I was compelled to want to find out a little bit more. So I did. I started asking questions, and I learned what it looked like to have a walk with the Lord. Now that might relate to some of you in this room. You might be sitting here thinking, these jewelry ladies sure can't sit around and talk about Jesus, and what are they even talking about? Because that's what I thought, ladies, when I met these girls. I knew there was something different. I knew they had something I wanted, but I just thought I didn't even know how to articulate that. So, if that is you, and you're sitting here thinking those thoughts like, yeah, totally, I just wanted to invite you to come on Sunday morning to this church. So this church, Redemption here in Loveland, is the church that my family goes to. Myself, Jeremy, who write Jones Devotional, and our 4 kids. Services, they're casual, totally inviting, not intimidating, and full of community and life. So the thing I most passionately wanted to share with you tonight is that you were made with a purpose in mind. By a Father who loves you, He hears your prayers, He comforts you, and He's waiting for you. Okay, the Bible says that He will come knocking on your heart. And if you're feeling that like a little bit going, that might be happening, I don't know. I want you to talk to me tonight afterward, or come to church on Sunday. Okay, that is actually what I am most passionate about. However, that is not what I'm supposed to be training about tonight. Come to find out, I'm actually supposed to be talking to you about this very fact, and I want you to write this down. The jewelry show is not antiquated.
Spell that. How do you spell that?
Make it up. Shannon's going to spell it for you.
A-N-T-I-Q-U-A-T-E-D.
There you go. I couldn't even spell 42, so. My goal is to convince you of this. And after that, we're going to talk about real-life jewelry lady applications that go along with that. So I want to take a look at 2018 real quick. So about half the room here is in what I'm going to refer to as my team of jewelry ladies, and about half are not. So the stats I'm about to read you just reflect only half the ladies in this room, which is really mind-blowing. Are you ready for this? Last year in 2018, my team held 800 jewelry parties in northern Colorado. So from pretty much Longmont to Wellington, there were 66 jewelry shows held on average every month. Ladies, if you break that down, that is 16 per week going on in the community that we all live in. I don't even have access to the numbers of the other half of you in this room, so you can do the math and go, wow, there's a lot of ladies out there who want free jewelry. I want you to know, in addition to those 800 jewelry shows, my team gave away $120,000 in free jewelry. Ladies, that is a lot of happy hostesses. They are drowning in sparkle by the time we're done with them. They love Premier. We have taught them easy ways to boost their confidence with their fashion. We've entered their lives, met their friends and family. They've left with all kinds of sparkle on their neck, and they're marketing on our behalf. So you might actually be thinking, well, that's pretty cool. Sounds like there's a lot of jewelry ladies in the area. Must be saturated. You might be thinking that. So I want you to know, Premier says there is room for one jewelry lady for every 1,000 people. So in a quick sec, you're gonna learn, in your generation in Premier, in our lifetime, Northern Colorado will never become saturated because we're growing. We're not even saturated in the first place. So the population of Loveland, Greeley, and Fort Collins is 350,000. That means in just those 3 towns, there's room for 350 jewelers. Look around the room. I'll say all 350 jewelers, okay? That's just Loveland, Fort Collins, and Greeley. That does not count Berthoud, Meade, Erie, Johnstown, Timnett, Wellington. We've got jewelers here tonight from Longmont, Northland, Denver. I mean, you name it. Cheyenne, that doesn't include any of that. So as far as Northern Colorado goes, we are expected to grow by 100,000 people per year for the next 30 years. Northern Colorado is expected to grow by 3 million residents. All right, who wants to go buy some real estate? Just saying. Okay, so I'm telling you this. You can saturate your Bible study. You can. You can saturate your kids' elementary school jewelry, ladies, but you will not saturate Colorado in your lifetime. So let's go back to those 800 hostesses and $120,000 of free jewelry that was awarded these women. We're convinced. I already know. But let's talk about, are your hostesses convinced that they can get their friends there? Are they convinced that they need to have a jewelry show? Women need eyeball-to-eyeball relationships. In our culture, we are more socially connected than ever before. I can like someone on Facebook all the dang day long and think she's actually my friend, and I maybe haven't even seen her in 15 years. She's not really my friend, ladies. What I'm talking about is women being reportedly more lonely now than ever in history. In fact, women are more afraid of loneliness than receiving a cancer diagnosis. We hear so much about diet and exercise, but I want you to know that relationships are as critical to mental health. We are providing a beautiful service by going into their homes and encouraging them to invite a couple of girlfriends over. I'm never asking my hostess to crowd a room with 20 people. She doesn't really know 20 people. That is over. That doesn't happen. She does on Facebook, but in her real life, she doesn't know 20 people. I'm just asking her to get a couple of girlfriends together and learn a little bit about the jewelry and learn a little bit about fashion. So, I'm not gonna lie. I have seen the attendance drop at my jewelry shows in the last 6 years. I estimate that I spend an extra half an hour per party working on outside orders or collecting payments or things like that. I would not trade that for anything, ladies. I'm okay with it. I can work that half hour in the nooks and crannies of my day. If Tegan can, I can, right? I don't know a single person in this room who balances as much as Tegan does. She can figure it out. I know I can figure it out. So I'm just thinking, what do I do with this knowledge, right? The other thing is, when I drive down the street, I see box stores closing. And I see all these articles online about how women are shopping online now more, and it should probably freak me out as a jewelry lady. But you know what? Last time I checked, I'm not JCPenney. Are you? No. I'm not Amazon last time I looked in the mirror. I'm a mom trying to help support my family in a crazy expensive culture that we live in. And I'm a friend who comes in with a bag of jewelry, and I provide a service. I help the women see why they might need a little sparkle in their days. And I love how Jen even said, in the beginning, I'm not even talking to them about the jewelry. I'm just helping them build a little confidence. I'm just entering in their lives and meeting their friends and family. I offer a continued service to them. That does not happen at the jewelry counter. So I don't really care that all the box stores are closing as far as how it affects my business. And actually, my husband would say, it helps my business. He's like, great, they don't have anywhere to buy jewelry anymore. So all these things that we're supposed to be so scared by, I'm like, this is not a problem. And I can quote Mark Stoddard, because that's what he says, Stephanie Stoddard's husband. He says that in everything. He's so low-key, you can't even get him riled up. He would say that. This is not a problem, okay? I don't need to be convinced. I see stats. I know you all are having jewelry parties. I go into the homes myself. I see how the hostesses glow when I tell them about their free jewelry, so I don't need to be convinced. But what I wanted to tell you is that I have had to make some adjustments because our culture has changed. So for the second part of my training, because I think you're hopefully convinced by now, I want to tell you about 5 things that I have done to adjust to some of these changes in our culture. One is that I try to hold one additional show about every 6 weeks over what I used to be doing. And that just kind of compensates for the fact that there's fewer ladies there. I'm just not in contact with as many ladies at the shows. Now, I'm not saying attendance is gone and there's nobody there. I'm just saying maybe 6 or 7 years ago, there'd be a crowd of 8 women pretty much every time. That just doesn't happen anymore. So I just have to do one more show every 6 weeks. I'm okay with that, ladies. I'd still rather do that than go clocking in somewhere, because I'm my own boss. Okay? Secondly, I've coined a phrase for myself. I call it hostess hand-holding. We used to call it hostess coaching. But you know what? I'm going to have to hold her hand a little bit more than I used to, because she's busy. And if I text her, she's reading it in line at the grocery store, and she's going to forget all about it in about 30 seconds. So are her guests. So I have to convince her of that. The first thing I'm doing is in the very moment I schedule her show. We're at a home show, or a jewelry party, or a style show, or whatever you want to call it, I do not care. I'm in someone's house with my new hostess. And I say to her, listen, just like how there's 4 ladies here tonight, you might have 4 ladies at your party. I'm still coming. We had a great time, didn't we? We had so much fun tonight. By then, she agrees, because that's why she booked a jewelry show. And I just tell her, I say, you know what? Holly actually probably invited 30 people. And so here we are tonight, the 4 or 5 of us. So I'm just going to encourage you to over-invite, and don't be discouraged if your friends can't come. Because I have a great bling link that I'll send you. Our website is gorgeous, and you'll still be able to get orders and boost your party sales. And for those friends who can come, we can get even more personal with our service, and I can talk to them more about their lifestyle and help them with their wardrobes and their jewelry a little bit more. So it's going to be great. So I'm just kind of calming her nerves from the beginning. Another part of my hostess hand-holding is that I might not really be able to nail her down for a hostess coaching anymore. I might not be able to get her to meet me at a Starbucks for a 30-minute meeting about her jewelry show. I want to, and I'm going to try to, and I'm going to encourage you to, but she might not. So I'm actually going to just meet her in the parking lot of her office over her lunch break, or I'm going to meet her in her driveway when she gets home from work. I call it like drive-by hostess coaching. It actually saves me a lot of time. But I mean, I really do want to hostess coach her well. I at least just want to get in front of her face, and so she can see me again, because I've really only met her once. And so I can wear some pretty jewelry. So I'm going to show up wearing something I know she loves. So she's, like, oh yeah, I want to get that for free. And I give her paper invitations. What? Are you kidding me? Oh, I do, ladies. Because you know what? She is going to use that same image. It's just a digital image that I print over at Walgreens. She's going to use it to text her friends or message them over Facebook or put it up on Facebook. And they're in line at the grocery store. And so they see it, and then it goes away, and they never think about it again. And so I tell her that. in her driveway where I'm meeting her. And I say, hey, this happens to me all the time. I read a text, at a red light maybe even, and I don't ever think about it again. And so this is why you need to have these invitations in your purse. So you can hand them out to the ladies because that is the best way to reach your friends. I'm not telling her to address them all. I like maybe what Tegan would say, that's in that list of I should mail out 50 invitations for my hostess. I'm not gonna do that. So I just tell her, make sure you keep stacking your purse. All right, but I'm not done hostess hand holding. By now, she knows that I'm taking this seriously. Girlfriend and I are gonna have a professional party. She knows that I am taking my job seriously, and she is way less likely at this point to cancel with me. But I'm not done with her. So I'm gonna send her a cute reminder image a couple weeks before her party, like, hey girl, you're gonna be dripping in jewelry soon, you know, that kind of thing. She's gonna start mirroring my commitment, so she sees Kate is coming with her jewelry. I better get my friends there. I'm gonna send her a little video of the jewelry. So every new line Premier gives us a 45-second video over YouTube. They're so cute. So I'm gonna send that to her to get her excited about the jewelry. And you know what? Maybe April rolls around and we're all thinking, this isn't new jewelry. Well, to her it is, and that's the video of our current collection. So I'm not only sending it this week, that little YouTube link is in the notes section of my phone, and I'm sending it to my hostess all the way until we get more jewelry in July. So she can be excited about the jewelry, and I am sending her a link to her party 3 times. So she gets a link from me, pretty much when we book her party and I set up her link. She's probably not getting orders yet, but I'm gonna give it to her anyway, so she knows I'm taking her seriously. The second time is gonna be a couple days before her show. This is when her guests are starting to RSVP that they can't come. Up until now, she hasn't even heard from them. And so she can say, that's okay, you can shop this link. So it's right at the tip of her phone, and I'm telling her that, not just sending her a link blindly, I'm telling her all of this in a text. And then, she still might not be getting orders. But I'm gonna come to her house and she's gonna love the jewelry. And so now she's gonna get you some orders. So I'm sending her a link from my driveway before I even walk into my house after her party. And I give her a little fun challenge and I tell her if she gets $200 in orders after her party, then I'm gonna give her a pair of earrings. Well, I'm gonna adjust that now that our earrings are $50. So I'm gonna tell her something else that I'm gonna give her as a fun little gift, maybe an It Girl bracelet. And so I'm actually gonna have an image that says, $200 challenge, get a free It Girl bracelet. I'm sending her that from my driveway half hour after her party with a link. So I've done a lot of hand holding, which certainly takes care of the retail of the fact that the attendance is a little bit low. So that hostess hand holding is the second main way I've adjusted to some changes in our culture. The third way is that I've changed the format of my shows a little bit. So these days, I bet 1/3 or more of my shows are an open house time frame. So I used to have a hard start time. We're starting at 6, and I would do food and then introductions and a presentation and I go through the whole thing. And I still do prefer to do it that way. But what I realized when I started talking to her, she wants to do, she says how about after work on a Friday? What I know, because I'm in the business of party planning, she thinks everybody gets off work at 5. Nope, some people got off at 4, other people got off at 5:30 and they gotta run home and let the dog out or whatever. And so I recommend a lot of times that we just do an open house style. And that makes her guests who are going to be late not feel like they're late. And her guests who have to leave early can leave early. And so it takes the pressure off her guests. They're way more likely to come because they don't feel badly if they have something else going on that same time. So in these situations, I will wear a solid colored shirt to my shows, black, gray, or cream, because I'm gonna be doing a lot more of the modeling of the jewelry on myself. I'm gonna be at the jewelry table while the guests are kind of coming and going, and I'm just kind of connecting one-on-one with the ladies rather than doing a presentation. And so one of my favorite ways that I like to connect with the ladies, after she comes to the jewelry table, I ask her how she knows the hostess, and then I'm gonna ask her a little bit about what she wears during the day and what kind of some of the things are that trip her up when it comes to accessorizing. And I'm gonna quickly identify on my table a couple of necklaces that I wanna show her. Well, of course I'm picking top sellers that are expensive. I'm not gonna show her a little blessed necklace. I mean, it's cute and all, but I'm gonna make some money tonight. So I'm gonna show her some top sellers. But I'm also gonna pick, based on what she just told me. And so I'm wearing a solid shirt, so I can say to her, Julie, can I show you my 2 picks for you? She always says yes. She's at a jewelry party. That's what she wants. So I say, can I show you my 2 picks for you? And then I'm gonna put one on her and one on me. And then I'm gonna accessorize with some earrings and whatever. Done. I'm gonna talk to her about booking a party when we're done. We've hung out, we're peeps. It's all good. So that's a quick adjustment I've made to my business when it comes to having the open house. I'll also use that format, ladies, if I'm at the coffee shop or at the Mexican restaurant or whatever. That's another adjustment, right? We don't always end up in the homes anymore. The 4th way of modifying my business is by having a shorter presentation when I do have a start time. Our attention spans are kind of pathetic these days, ladies. I'm just saying, I don't even want to watch a YouTube video or a little training or whatever if it's really longer than 2 minutes. So I really cannot expect them to sit there and pay attention to me the way that they used to. And that sounds so dramatic because it really changed how much I think it has in my own life. So I'm just projecting that on my guests. So there's things I've just kind of eliminated and tidied up and just keep it much shorter, more oriented at how I can help them with their fashion needs and their jewelry needs. I know some ladies bring out clothes and stuff like that. I'm not doing that. I'm just still showing jewelry, but just in a lot shorter time frame. And I always make time for them to do the guest survey. So even though I've shortened down some other things, do not skimp on the guest survey of some sort at the end of their party. This is where your gold is in your business, is their contact information. So this is another opportunity to have them book a party. It's another opportunity to find out if they're interested in the business or a gem membership. So even though I've shortened, I just wanted to be clear that is one area that I will never shorten in my parties. So the 5th and final way I've adjusted to reflect the faster pace of our culture. You might or might not like this, but I'm just going to tell you. I have brought back the $50 hostess bonus in my own personal business. So for those of you who are newer, we used to have a $50 bonus that your hostess would receive if her friends booked if she had 3 different jewelry shows booked out of her party. And we don't offer that anymore, and that's okay. But when I reflected on when my calendar used to be booming with parties, it was because I was giving my hostess a $50 bonus. So this fall, I worked a little tirelessly to rebuild my calendar. It had been a little weak for a few months, and I wasn't willing to go into the Christmas season with a weak calendar. So I hate making booking calls and booking texts and all of that. But that's what I had to do. So I beefed up my calendar again, and I told myself, I am not losing this momentum. I am not losing this. And so I just reflected, what was happening in my business when I had bookings all the time, like drowning in them all the time? It was a $50 bonus. So I just decided I'm gonna bring it back for a month. Ladies, my jewelry show business is still booming. I have jewelry shows booked all the way through April. I am set, I am booked until the beginning of March. That has not happened in my business in a couple of years. And I'm serious, I think it's because I brought back that bonus. And I just love watching my hostesses work it for me. Like, girls, who's booking with Kate tonight? I'm like, yes, this is amazing. All right, that is $25 out of my pocket. I'm giving her $50 in free jewelry. That cost me $25. That's $8.33 for each one of those parties. I make a 50% commission. Am I gonna make $16.66 at that party to pay for that? Yes, I am. Totally worth it. So I'm just being honest, that's something I've done. So by now, I've detailed how the jewelry show is strong in our culture. There are hundreds or even thousands of hostesses ready for you to have a party. I've demonstrated to you my own personal business is 100% built on in-person events, but I want to show you how this is a key to your paycheck. In this room, there are 4 types of jewelry, ladies. Fun time, sometime, part-time, and full-time. If you are a fun time jewelry lady, you really just in for a discount, girl. I do not blame you. And the friendships. So you might just do a jewelry show time to time or pass the catalog around work. That is fine. That might be like 3 of you. So let's be real. Most of us are here to make between maybe $200 and $800 a month, maybe. That's most of us in this room. You need to be in the homes, ladies. I went on ahead this week and I polled the top retailers in our company. Julie David, the #1 retailer in our entire company, does 99% of her business in the home. Sarah Capehart, she's a stats girl. She knew exactly when I texted her. 94% in person, 6% she told me on social media, like a VIP page or doing Facebook parties. Connie Allred, 95%. Jennifer Keller. Wait, didn't Jennifer just train on VIP parties and Facebook parties at Rally 2 years ago? 95% of her income is from in-person parties. Fun fact, Jennifer shut down her VIP page on December 31st because she realized it's just better to be in the homes and selling jewelry that way. And she's moving with the times and moving into different things and whatever. I also pulled the top 5 retailers in Northern Colorado in my Premier family. #1 retailer in 2018 in my Premier family was Leah Rolfe. Woo! She didn't know that until right now. Leah Rolfe told me that she does 95% of her business in person. I also pulled the other top retailers in my Premier family, Sarah Perea, Maggie Keller, Selah Young, and their answers were between 95 and 98% in person. And lastly, and you might be wondering, I pulled Stephanie Stoddard, who, as you might know, lives in her RV in the middle of the desert. And guess what? Stephanie still did have her business in person. Somehow, living in the middle of the desert, she still pulled in half of her business doing in-person shows. One of these ladies texted me back and said this: there are hot, trendy direct sales companies popping up every day, trying to sell the in-home show, and the young crowd is digging it. She said, I don't even think I held a successful Facebook party that I can remember this year, and I was following the system to the T. Ladies, take a deep breath. I am not here to slam your Facebook parties. And I'm not here to slam all of the efforts that we put into our VIP pages. My job tonight is actually to give you some encouraging news. Here's the deal, ladies. Woo! We get paid to party. 50%! That is unmatched in the industry. I get paid to connect with women. I make money helping women feel confident. My paycheck comes from serving my customers. And all the while, I'm eating queso. This is not a problem. We can still help women, even if they're not going to the mall with their friends, still be able to shop what I call relation shopping. They're having fun. They don't regret that they came that night. They're having a great time. This isn't any different than before. And this is what Andy Horner would have trained us on himself, loving and serving others. So I'm excited for us to be out in our communities this year. Our jewelry has never been better. It is hot, ladies. Our website is top-notch. For those guests who can't make it, they will go online and they will make orders because it is gorgeous. And for those who can come to the party, we get to go out and serve them with a dose of much-needed friendship